What's up, guys? It's Casey Zogelman, aka the Fourth Sanderson Sister, coming at you with the breakdown of the official trailer for Hocus Pocus 2. It has been a long, short weekend for me, having just returned home from Horror Hound Weekend in Cincinnati. If you want to see all of my con pics and my hijinks with 6 members of the original Hocus Pocus cast, head over to my Instagram, which is in the description of this video. Now there are 61 frames for me to break down in this video for you today, so let's dive in. Okay, so we clearly open up on our bird friend that has been tormenting us for weeks upon weeks of speculation, and in the second frame we see the baby Sanderson sisters running away from something. But the bird's eye view, pun absolutely intended, indicates that this shot is in fact from the bird's perspective. It's watching the girls. So in the third frame we see baby Mary and baby Sarah running in the Forbidden Forest. Sarah's hair actually looks much blonder here than in the teaser image, which I think actually helps a lot. She actually does look like a blonde here. Frame 4 has all 3 baby Sandersons in the forest, and we also hear the voiceover of who we assume, and rightfully so, is Reverend Trask, announcing that he is banishing the Sanderson sisters from Salem forever. For some reason. We don't know what that reason is yet. The baby Sandersons have clearly heard someone calling them, but who? Now, frames 6 through 9. So, the bird makes a dive bomb right for the baby Sanderson sisters, and the enchantress was the bird. I freaking called it. She has clearly been keeping an eye on the baby Sandersons, probably knowing that Winnie was turning 16 soon, and she had magic in her blood, which means her sisters will also develop powers when they come of age. So yes, they weren't always witches. It was like the Harry Potter thing where you reach a certain age and then it shows itself. That's perfectly fine. Or like the Sabrina the Teenage Witch thing, which since it's 16, we'll just go with Sabrina the Teenage Witch. So yeah, she jumps at the chance to create more witches to do the master's dirty work, and thus she would go after the baby Sandersons. Something cool, though, about the choker on Hannah's neck. That symbol is the same as the clasp on Winnie's dress later on as she is an adult. Real quick, I know a lot of people are not super pleased with Hannah's modern look. I don't necessarily think that it's a bad look. I think it looks really good. She looks very good. No, it doesn't necessarily fit with the time period, but she's not supposed to fit in. She's the oddball. She's the one who's different. So it makes sense that she would dress more eccentric, because the girls didn't start doing that, obviously, until they became witches, so ipso facto, she looks fine. So, in frames 10 and 11, Hannah's got a feathered cape, which is appropriate since she's a shapeshifter and she shapes into the red-winged blackbird that had been tormenting me for months. But the more interesting thing is the symbol on her red dress. It's a burning eye. Perhaps this is symbolic of the evil eye that people talk about sometimes. But here's where things get a little sticky, continuity-wise. Hannah is clearly seen giving Winifred the book. Now, back in the first movie, Allison explains the legend of the book, saying it was gifted to Winifred by the devil himself. This frame here actually creates a plot hole that is a little frustrating for fans, but I think I can explain it in a way that this actually makes sense. The legend of the Sanderson sisters is what gets told throughout the town of Salem every year, right? Right. Legends are often embellished or built upon, exaggerated, and told from, like, the winner's side, or really the survivor's side, I guess. I mean, it could be the winner's side. Kind of like history. The legend might get its start from the person who banished the trio from the village. Looking at you, Reverend Trask. He's a reverend in the 17th century. Breathing incorrectly was of the devil. Let alone a scared teenager who just found out she has magical powers that can blast things. He could have easily spun the tale in his favor, making him out to be the big hero banishing 3 evil witches from the town. And when they return for revenge, which we know that is coming because of the village burning thing that we talked about a long time ago, with their new book given to them by the enchantress, who is likely a servant of the devil. That's where the book being given to Winnie by the devil comes in. Legends start somewhere, and it's almost always told from the winning side, or really the survivor's side, so Trask would easily be the one to embellish it and be like, yeah, I did the most noble thing ever, and this is what happened to them, and it just snowballs. Now, Hannah also says, magic has a way of uniting. Is this a hint for a team-up later? Like, you know, between our wonderful, beautiful, wonderful girls and the new girls? Or is this a hint that Becca, Izzy, and Cassie will come together at long last after overcoming their differences? Or is this just her way of saying, keep your family together? I don't know, but I actually really like that line. Frame 12. I was right! Winifred got her powers at 16, like I said a few minutes ago, so she was born a witch. Woo! She wasn't just given powers, she was born a witch, which is what I always wanted. I wanted them to be born witches. That makes me happy. Now, frame 13 had a few people confused. So it says 370 years later. So with a little magical mathematics, we can determine that this is 370 years from Winnie's 16th birthday. That does not necessarily make it on Halloween. So, there was a 300-year gap between their hanging and their return in the first Hocus Pocus. This movie in 2022, in the present, in the now, makes it 329 years since their hanging. So, if we subtract 329 from 370, we get 41. So let's take 41 years from 1693, the year they were hanged. We get 1652, which means the scene with the sisters takes place in 1652. But that doesn't quite add up to them being as old as they were in 1693, the year they were hanged. So, my theory is that once they make their deal for the book, because we obviously know there's going to be a deal coming, as Rumpelstiltskin said, and once upon a time, magic always comes with a price, dearie. The sisters are going to be aged up to where Sarah, as the youngest, has now reached 16 and can now perform spells, but it could be older than 16, but let's just use that number because it's the one we're focusing on the most in this movie. Let's just use 16. Now, we're going to use Sarah as the baseline. We're going to use her as the base number because she's the youngest. Judging from the looks alone, Sarah looked like she was maybe 10. Let's say she's 10. So that adds 6 years to her life. And 6 to her older sisters. That puts Winifred at 22, and Mary kind of looks like she's about 13 here, so that would put her at 19. Now we add 41 years to each age. Winnie would be 63, Mary at 60, and Sarah at 57. That makes them so much closer to how they would have looked in 1693 before Emily Binks is drained of her life force via the life potion and they age down. That would also explain why they do what they do in the first place. They lost years of their life from this deal, and they want those years back. Ergo, the life potion. Okay, moving on, because that was a lot of math, and I hate math, and it made my head hurt. Frames 14 through 16 show Gilbert giving Becca and Izzy the candle. He is shady. I didn't think he was shady until this trailer. He's shady. He has just been hanging on to this, waiting for the right person to light it. More on that in a couple frames. As we can see here, this flame doesn't have the blue hue to it. It looks much more like our original black flame candle, which frankly looks a lot better. It's not that I didn't like the blue, but I don't know. It was just, that was too bright in my opinion. I like that they went back with the like orange aura around it. It just looks better. Frame 17. Our pretty, pretty girls, they must be protected at all costs. That is all. Frame 18, Izzy's starting to interrogate Gilbert, but that is not why I chose this frame to look at. Behind Gilbert, there's a sign that says Abracadabra, which is the movie's name in Spanish. Very nice Easter egg, Ann Fletcher. Well done. I give you applause for that one. That was good. Alright, so in frames 19 to 21, Book wakes up, freaks Becca out. But Gilbert, on the other hand, shouts, "He woke up," and makes kind of a happy, surprised face. So yeah, Gilbert's a Sanderson fanboy, and he definitely rigged the candle to bring them back so he can meet his heroes. Can we blame the man? Or so he can help them clear their name, like I talked about in a previous video that I can't remember which one it is right now, but I'm sure Editing Casey's going to link it somewhere. Either way, he totally set this up. He absolutely set this up. And again, I don't blame him, because if I had the power to do it, I would also summon the Sanderson sisters to meet them. Book's eye, however, has changed color back to its original. It was blue, and now it's green, which looks much better. He looks much better. He doesn't look so CGI. He's also got, like, droplets of water or sweat or something on him. So is he crying tears of joy that Winnie's back? Or is he sweating bullets trying to break his restraints that Gilbert has him in? Either way, yay, Book! So, frame 22, Winnie is calling for Book, and we all got goosebumps when we heard that, didn't we? We can vaguely see Becca and Izzy in the frame, so perhaps Book's waking up when this happens and those frames that I just talked about happen after this. I don't know. I think that's how it's going to go, but it would make more sense that way. Now, in frames 23 to 26, we get the sky beam from the original movie when Gilbert opens the book. Good Easter egg. The house actually looks so much more like the Sanderson home than it did before, and it makes me feel better because I wasn't crazy about how it looked there for a while, but now it looks much more like the Sanderson house, and it makes me happy. Becca and Izzy are obviously gobsmacked, and then we enter our favorite girls. So in frames 27 through 29, Winnie kind of gives us the details. Winifred tells us that if they are to live to sunrise, they have to suck the souls out of Becca and Izzy. Now, this could also be expanded to any child, like the first one. Also, I just love this frame in particular because I want to be cuddled by Mary and Sarah, and I'm very jealous of Becca and Izzy right there. Like, I want a hug. Give me a hug, please. Now, frame 30. Our beautiful trio of witches again. Any opportunity to sing their praises, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. In frames 31 to 33, Gilbert is asking the Sanderson sisters to talk with him, I'm assuming, about their plan. Winnie just declines by saying, no, and we're just like, We love you. And then, of course, her sisters start cackling. Odds are this is where he's going to realize his heroes aren't heroes, and it breaks his heart just a little bit. I mean, we love them regardless of what they do. That's pretty bad, but we do. We love them so much. Now, frame 34, Winnie does her famous "Come We Fly," and she found a broom. I think it's from the display that they were standing next to. And then, frames 35 to 37 might be my favorite frames. For so many reasons. Mary's on the Roombas. Mary's on the Roombas. I can't believe they didn't make us wait to see this glorious moment. Can we just appreciate these frames for a minute? I love these. I love these. I love everything that is happening in this moment. Kathy is an absolute queen. She is our queen, and she should be treated as such. Roombas as hoverboards, that's the best thing ever, and I'm so happy this is happening. Thank you, Kathy, for being the best and having the guts to even try doing this. It's amazing. This is legendary, and I can't deal with how much I love this. This makes me so happy. I'm so happy they stuck that in the trailer. I'm so happy. Now, in frame 38, we get a little throwback that we really like. Sarah gets to sing her muck song again, but I like that they resurrected it in a different way. She's not getting gut punched this time. They're like, yeah, we are gonna run amok. You're right, Sarah. It's great. It's great. Frame 39 is clearly a shot from the trolley chase, which will happen probably either before or during the third act. I don't know. Whenever that is. I don't know. And then frame 40, Becca and Izzy are hiding somewhere. Now, if you look at the shadows, it looks like they're hiding in a cellar, and I'm guessing it's the cellar of the Sanderson cottage. I'm sorry, I just can't call it the magic shop. It's the Sanderson cottage now and forever. But I think they're under the floorboards of the Sanderson cottage, because Izzy starts restating their plan in a voiceover. So they were obviously hiding and listening as Gilbert talked to the witches. So he probably had them hide, or they went to hide, or something. I don't know. Either way, they're hiding under the floorboards. Frame 41, again, probably a shot from the trolley chase. Becca's on the phone with somebody. Maybe it's Cassie, or maybe the cops, as a throwback to the first one. That would be funny if we just hear the cops going, yeah, you're crazy, or something like that. That would be a nice little Easter egg. Frame 42 is the Salem Scare Fest, right before our wonderful witches start singing one way or another. I'm really looking forward to that. Somehow, I have managed to escape hearing that song ever since it got leaked on the internet. I am so proud of myself, and I'm going to keep that record. What a shot, by the way. That is just a nice shot. I like this shot. So, frame 43, Hag Tracks in Walgreens. They're doing Hag Tracks in Walgreens. That is all. It's wonderful. Frame 44 to 46, Becca, obviously, she knows a lot about magic, so she would clearly know that salt is the way to protect themselves from the Sanderson sisters. I have to say, though, Izzy's joke about using it to taste better is pretty great, and I'm actually liking these teenagers a lot more now. Now that I've gotten to see more of them and they don't just strike me as bland, I think they're going to be fun characters. I really think they are going to be fun. Do I care about them more than I care about the witches? No. That would be a lie. But I really think they are going to be fun now. And God only knows what Sarah just sprayed in her mouth, and it was probably perfume. Save this girl from herself. Somebody save her from herself. Meanwhile, Winnie's sniffing or drinking what I can only assume is some kind of face cream. I don't know. And then Mary, once again, reassures us that she is the scariest of the trio by attempting to eat a face mask. You and I both know what that means. I don't have to say it. Okay, so in frames 47 to 49, Becca is making a line of salt that turns into a shield and rebounds Winnie's spell. Honestly, that effect is very cool, as it's something we didn't get to see before. We just kind of saw them dodging the salt. They never tried to fight. I like that we got to see basically a lightning bolt bounce off a shield and hit a wall. That was really cool. That was very cool. So, in frame 50, Winnie is clearly snatching Cassie. Somebody said the other day that Cassie wasn't in the trailer. Cassie's in the trailer. She's just getting dragged away by Winifred Sanderson. But it makes sense that they would go for Cassie, because Cassie is Trask's daughter, so she's the perfect bargaining chip for the Sanderson sisters to use against him. It's really good. Like, that's really good. We also see a small shot of Mike in this shot, Cassie's boyfriend, furthering the fact that that was very clearly Cassie getting dragged through the sky. Now, frame 51, this is a very familiar shot that was brought out a while back as the witches are entering Trask's home. Now, frames 52 and 53. Sarah is so precious and she must be protected at all costs. The spread out gag is just so great and it's so perfect, and I'm going to laugh every single time I see it. You know why this made me laugh so hard the first time? Not just because it's Sarah and everything she does is sheer perfection, but because it has the same energy as this scene from Up that I also laugh at every single time. Spread out. This is a gag that will never stop being funny because it's classic. This is slapstick at its finest, not to mention the sheer looks of absolutely being done on Mary and Winifred's faces. These are the faces of two people who have had it with their sister's BS, and it's perfect. I love everything about this moment. It is beautiful. Everything here is perfect. It's so funny. It's so funny. Coupled with Sarah whistling and slowly sliding down the wall. And then you just see Mary and Winnie just staring at her like, why? Why are we related to you? It's just so good. It's so good. I love it. I love everything. That might be my favorite part of the trailer, right behind Mary on the Roombas. Like, God, that was perfect. Frame 54. Sarah gets smacked because she's gonna get smacked. It's gonna happen. Now, frame 55 is obviously another Salem Scarefest again, and it's a group takeoff that is just flawless, and again, what a shot. What a shot. Now, in frames 56 and 57, Gilbert is digging up Billy's grave. We're not sure why he gets this idea yet, but we'll see. Obviously, he is the one who is digging up the grave. I like his joke about the coffin not being 6 feet under as an Easter egg to how it was raised up through the ground about 29 years ago. And then, in our final frames of 58 through 61, the return of the king. It's the return of the king. Billy hasn't aged a day. All joking aside, I'm so happy we get to see him again. I'm so happy Doug Jones is back as Billy. I seriously can't wait for his buddy cop bromance with Gilbert. I'm so ready to see his backstory with Winifred and Sarah. That's gonna be fun. Oh my God, the return of the king. Let's go. Let's get Billy in here. Let's go. I'm so hype. Well, that is everything I saw in the official trailer for Hocus Pocus 2. A quick honorable mention to Cobweb, the Magic Shop cat, but her shot was the exact same thing as the teaser trailer, so I just left it out because we'd already looked at it. What do you guys think? Did you see anything else that I might have missed? Because there was a lot happening in this trailer, and I went frame by frame. I did what I could. There was a lot to look at. So if you saw anything I missed, leave it in the comments down below so I can check it out and go back and look for it myself. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you are new to the channel, please remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't. It's free. It helps me. And what helps me helps you guys get more great content like this. We have officially hit 1,200 subscribers on the channel. Good job, you guys. Thank you so much for that, everyone. It means a lot to me that you're here. You hit the deadline for the goal I put up about 5 days early, so you were just under the wire. But that does mean I will fulfill my end of the deal. So on September 29th, I'll be doing a live stream watch-along of Hocus Pocus here on the channel at 7:30 Central Standard Time. We are going to hang out in the chat. I'll do a running commentary. I'll answer your questions. And since you guys made the channel hit 1,200 subscribers, I will be dressing up as one of the Sanderson sisters for the live stream. Full costume, full makeup, and a wig. I'll be making my selection this week, and then you guys will see my choice the night of the stream. You will not find out early. I will not be spoiling that surprise for you. Friday, I'm just going to be doing a casual video where I tell my stories from the Horror Hound weekend where I met Max and Allison and Billy and Binks's voice and Emily and Ice. It was so much fun. It's going to be a very chill video before I break down the new poster on Monday. So if you're a regular on the channel, please remember to drop a like and share your thoughts on this massive breakdown down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Casey Zogelman, aka the 4th Sanderson Sister, and I will see you witches and wizards later.